Good morning, everybody. It's Lynn the leather bag lady. It's Monday morning. How are you all? Um, Everything's backwards. I'm trying to fix it. I don't know how to fix it. New phones. Can't stand the process of getting a new phone. My encyclopedia of all things bag, the vintage coach collector, is just a wealth of information for me. So I'll figure it out at some point. Something to do with mirroring, or I don't know. I've been Googling my face off trying to get this organized and still trying to do those uh, thumbnails. Oh, my goodness, it's going to be one of those days, I think. So, how was your weekend? Did you have a good one? Get up to anything interesting? What did I do? Didn't do much, actually. Friday night. Yeah, I mean, we can't do anything. Had highlight of my weekend was going for Burger King last night. It's the first time I haven't cooked for myself in quite a few weeks, which is saying something because I don't need any encouragement to eat out. It was a beautiful morning this morning, did the stairs, so I'm now at my 3 trips up and down, and I really don't think I'm going to do much more than that. The old knees can't handle it, so there we are. Actually sold my first briefcase, so I will be mailing out my first briefcase today. It'll be interesting to see what the shipping is. I really am very curious. I somehow feel that I could send something this big and the briefcase, and it's probably going to be the same. That shipping, it's kind of a basic amount until you reach a certain weight, I think. I don't know. We will see today because the briefcase I sold is gorgeous. It's an 80s briefcase. It's so cool. It has wraparound clasps. It was on a video last week or the week before, I think. And I have another one today. So let's get to our bags. So first bag is fairly simple, actually, but it's kind of unique in that it has that 70s look, but I'm going to suggest it's a 90s bag. And the reason I'm suggesting that is the size. You can't really see the size of the slip pockets. I mean, there is a slip pocket for phone, but it's this big, and that just screams 90s to me. There is some adjustability on the strap, and I mean, you could put another hole in there quite easily, but it's one of these little pouchette. They're coming back. Some of my reseller colleagues are talking about it already, that these little, late 90s, early 2000 pouchettes are coming back in style. So this little guy, when you give it a little bit of shape, is so cute. I don't know, I just like it. All the whip stitching and all the, I don't think this is natural on the leather. I would suggest that it's been designed to look more aged than it is, but it is in fantastic condition. No damage on the straps, no nothing. And just those high points of the tooling are darkened. Again, I very much doubt it's hand tooled, but it's cute anyway. And it's just a little different, just a little different. And it's a little bigger than those tiny little pouchettes. So and it does have a zipper on the one side. No branding. I don't know where it's come from. There is a zipper across the top, which is nice. And 2 pockets on either side. So you're going to get a lot with this little guy, actually. So, yeah. Great little bag. Cute little bag. I like it. Now, the next one is one of these 80s, 90s lettered little offerings. Now, what I like about this is the color. I like pink, and this is a real bubblegum pink. Now, on its own, the bag, yeah, it's one of the, again, one of those little pouchettes. It's okay. It's got a little gusset. There is a little bit of dryness in the corners, and I will address that. There is a little bit of wear here, and there is a little bit of wear on the edges as well. Nothing, you can see pink, 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 and then it loses a little bit of its color. But what I did with this little guy, and this is some of these bags again that I have that I'm just trying to figure out how I can make them a little bit more current and just a little bit more exciting. So what I did, and this is a bit of an experiment, is I've added some things. So this bag never came with an original strap, but I've added this really nice accented leather strap in a really nice complementary gray color. And just to kind of take it one step further, I love these little rabbit fur. I know you're not supposed to like fur or whatever, but I do. And I've added this little rabbit fur pom-pom. So now we're looking at something that's just got a little bit more style, a little bit more pizzazz, if you will. You're still getting the original carcass. This is by Wilson's Leather. Wilson's Leather, originally a combination of two existing leather companies, one of which was formulated in 1899. So that company was originally a harness, worked with fabrics as well as leather. And then the Wilson's House of Suede, I think it was called, in the 50s, was the other partner. And then they got together, I think it was 1984, they got together and created, they were bought out. It very much sounded like in the history that I read that these companies that have a portfolio of other companies bought strategically companies that they could pair together, because these two were the founding companies of Wilson's Leather, but then they added other companies along the way, and each of those companies had something to offer. So I guess like mergers and acquisitions, if that's what it's called, I guess that's what they would do, so that they could, continue a brand or revitalize a brand. But unfortunately, Wilson's Leather has no longer, I think they were bought out 2006, 2008. And I think most of their retail outlets, of which there were hundreds, over 400 in, I think it was the 90s, probably when this little guy was in the height, because Roots and Danier both had lettered offerings in the 80s. Yeah, so most of the retail outlets are now closed, and they are still in business, but just as an e-commerce, an online business. But a lot of pedigree in this company. I have quite a few Wilson's Leather, and I do pick them up when I find them because the quality is there. But another victim of probably the COVID and just the competition that's out there right now is just crazy. Where'd I put that other little one? So now here's my next business bag offering. So this is by Bugatti, which is a fairly commercial retailer for business bags and backpacks and that kind of thing. But this is another 90s offering. You've got a nice pocket back here, and it's got a nice cotton liner. In the front, you've got a pocket that has a bunch of slip pockets for pens and card slots. So I like those. I like these outside pockets. The handles age it. These are very 90s handles. And then you've got your interior, which there is the original leather strap. And you've got a pocket, another pocket with some slip pockets, and then you've got your padded pocket for a small laptop or a tablet or whatever. So nothing crazy, nothing too exciting. Benefit of this, a little bit of history, a little bit of, and you've got a nice zipper closure on the top here as well. Just, something a little different. If you're looking for, these bags now, they're $200, $300, $400 for some of them. Why pay that? You don't need to. You get something with a little bit of history, and it has a little snap here for this guy. I like when bags do that. It just helps keep it nice and tidy and out of the way. Now there is a little bit of corner wear, which is always disclosed in the listing. But you've got, nice gussets, no cracking, it's really in beautiful condition. And it's actually not that heavy for a bag with as much leather in it as this has. So now, speaking of leather, I did something really kind of fun on the weekend. I'm online, as you know, looking for, oh God, that is really bugging me now that I know it's there. It's all backwards. Anyway, I'm online looking for vintage bags, looking for Roots bags in particular. And I came across a listing for a gentleman who was selling leather scraps. Now, I've done leather scraps in the past, and I think I've shared that with you. We have a great leather craftsman, Tundra Leather, here in Hamilton, and he sells scraps. So I did buy a bunch of scraps a few years ago. I wanted to dabble in covering agendas and journals, and also making purse tassels, which I have some somewhere, but I just don't know where the heck I've put them. And now, I'm looking to do some kind of crafting with the leather, making either pull tabs or purse charms or something to, kind of lighten, give some of the more, I wanted to say boring, but that's not right, because just because it's boring to me doesn't mean it would be boring to somebody out there. So, but I want to start creating some kind of artistic addition to give some of these bags a little bit of a more modern flair, if you will, but still keep the integrity of the vintage piece. And I've got so much time on my hands these days that I just want to do something. So this gentleman had 6 boxes of leather scraps, each box 60 plus pounds. Holy crap. So I bought one of them. I couldn't even lift it. He had to lift it in the car. It's still in the car. I'm going to have to empty it piece by piece. So who knows what I'm going to do with it. I've been Googling and YouTubing leather crafts. I really am interested in creating leather feathers, which there's one lady who does the most magnificent leather feathers, but there's some sewing involved. So, I'm still trying to navigate that. So I can't wait to see what's in this box. And I may even put some craft bags together and sell them locally on my Kijiji site or marketplace, whatever. I know there's crafters out there who just need a little bit of leather and don't want, I mean, this poor gentleman, I asked him what he was doing with the leather, and he said he bought it to do some crafting projects with his daughters, and they didn't seem as interested as he thought. But in order to get the leather, he had to buy it all. And his wife's freaking out because it's all over the garage. So I probably should have bought more, but I'm borderline hoarder. We've talked about this. So I really had to say no because it was only 25 bucks. 25 bucks for 60 pounds. Now, some of the pieces are very tiny. They're, it's going to be, who's going to be able to use that? So I figure I'm going to be able to cut out little petals and go to town on some of these ideas that I have. But anyway, that was kind of exciting. So it's still in the car. I know what the top colors are. I don't know, what's down below. So that'll be interesting to look at moving forward. And I'm getting really close to purchasing some supplies to do these more in-depth refurbishments. And by that, I mean leather dye, leather paint, some more dedicated leather flexible glue. What else? There's a number of suede cleaners that I want to try out. Yeah, just some different things, maybe some tools. Really has kind of got my interest. So never in a million years thought I would be heading down this path, but I'm really excited about it. So once I start doing these little projects, I'll bring you along with me. We'll probably need to look at some editing software or apps or something for that, because nobody wants to see you do the whole job. They just want the speed. I like the speed it up, where the YouTubers speed things up. So you still see everything, but, it's not a yawn fest. So anyway, have a wonderful rest of the day. Do something kind for yourself. Do something you don't want to do today. I already did it, the stairs, and maybe I'll pick one other thing. I'm out and about today mailing that briefcase, so that'll be interesting information for me to give you tomorrow. And I'm picking up some bags as well. I found a young lady who I've actually bought a previous Roots bag from. She has a number of Roots, more modern ones than vintage, but we were able to come to an agreeable price. So I'm going to go pick up probably 5 or 6 smaller Roots bags today. So have a good one, everybody, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.